So today we will, I was looking ahead here, and we covered Madhuvan yesterday. So today we'll cover Talvan, maybe Kumudvan as well. And we'll see how far. But then there's Bahulavan, and all these three forests, they don't have very long commentaries on them. So, and then comes Radhakund, Shamakund, and Govardhan. So I'm trying to reach the Govardhan by the time that we have the festival this weekend. And not only that, but also the Bhagavatam, the actual chapters. It would be very nice to hear in detail the whole Govardhan Leela, you know. So, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauda Chishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Angashyamali Machatavi Ravito Mandi Kritangi Viram Jadyam Jagudarochisham Vidadatam Pattam Varasya Shriya Vrindaranya Nivasanam Hridila Saddama Viramodaram Radha Skanda Niveshito Jula Bhujam Dhyayen Dhamodaram Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kriptascha Kamari Taranga Madhye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare My Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my beloved Diksha and Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila, Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And also my Dandavat pranams to all my Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So after Madhuvan forest comes Talvan. And what happened in Talvan? Right, and his cohorts.
Bunch of asses.
And a very panoramic scene took place. I always remember from Prabhupada's Krishna book, when he's narrating that story, he says, as Krishna and Balaram were wheeling the ass demons and throwing them here and there up in the trees, and they were all different colors, he said it was a very panoramic scene. So here's the verse from the Skanda Purana introducing the forest of Talvan. Aho Talvanam Punyam Yatra Talairhato Sura Hitaya Yadavanamcha Atma Kri Danakaya Cha. Ah, this is the same Talvan where Sri Krishna and Sri Balaram killed the ass demon Dhenukasur for the benefit of the Yadavas and the pleasure of the Sakas. Right? Because the Sakas were getting hungry. Remember that? They were getting hungry. And they said, oh, there's a very formidable demon that we are facing, O Krishna, the demon of hunger. Please kill this demon. So now, this forest is situated about 6 miles south of Mathura and 2.5 miles southwest of Madhuvan. So on the first day of the bus's parikrama, because our parikrama is a little different than what's being described, because they have to organize the busing days, and we go to certain forests on certain bus days. So this is the first day that we go out. And before that, they're going out, usually in Vrindavan, and visiting the local places by foot, the temples. But then the first day that we have on our schedule for boarding the buses is this day, Talvan Day. So this forest of Talvan, it was once an enchanting forest full of palm trees. And the name for palm trees is tal trees, tala. Cruel Kamsa had appointed one of his followers, Dhenukasur, to guard this forest, a duty he carefully performed along with his many wives and sons. Only Maharaj Kamsa and his followers enjoyed the forest's sweet tal fruits, which were otherwise inaccessible to ordinary people. One day, while herding the cows, Krishna and Baladev, together with the cowherd boys, they wandered near Talvan. The boys were so ravenous that they implored Krishna and Baladev to protect them from the demon of hunger, and they said that they could smell sweet, ripe tal fruits coming from nearby. So hearing this, Krishna and Baladev led them into Talvan. In the forest, Baladev shook one of the palm trees, and the fruit thudded to the ground, and the cowherd boys jumped for joy. Hearing the sound of the falling fruits, which sounded how? Gurudev would always say, and the other Hindi-speaking devotees would say, dup, 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 dup. The fruits falling. So hearing the sound of the falling fruits, Dhenukasur and his followers, they attacked Krishna and Baladev with great force, kicking them with their hind legs. Without strain or effort, Baladev Prabhu caught the hind legs of the valorous Dhenukasur, whirled him around in the sky, and threw him onto the top of a huge palm tree. The demon passed stool and urine and then died. Krishna started killing Dhenukasura's donkey followers, and soon their urine, stool, and blood contaminated the entire forest. All the palm trees fell on each other and were destroyed. Later, when Talvan was again clean, the Sakas and everyone else could easily go there. Now, this pastime carries some deep and important teachings. What are those teachings? Sri Baladev Prabhu is Akhanda Guru Tattva. That means the complete and undivided principle of Guru. Did you all know that? That he's Akhanda Guru Tattva. How? How is he Akhanda Guru Tattva? Baladev. He's the first expansion of Krishna. He's the first expansion of Krishna. No one before him. Actually, he is Krishna himself. That's why Baladev has this very special, unique position in Braj. Even the amorous pastimes of Krishna and his relationship with the gopis and dancing Ras Leela. When Baladev came later on, after Krishna had left Braj, then Baladev Prabhu, he satisfied the gopis. He also has his own gopis. You know that? Yeah, because Krishna mentioned to him when they were having the holy color-throwing festival, and Krishna with his eyes, he gave the, the signal to Baladev Prabhu. All these, and they were a little younger, these are your gopis, Baladev. So Baladev also has his own gopis. And when he came to console all the gopis, he stayed 2 whole months. Was it 2 months? Huh? Yeah, 2 months. 2 months he stayed. We have that on our calendar. Baladev Rasa Yatra in the springtime. But Gurudev explains also that the Krishna's gopis, his intimate gopi, they watched. They were also satisfied. So that just shows you how close Baladev is to Krishna. There is no other expansion, no other incarnation that can do that can exhibit that kind of rasa. Only Balaram. And that's pointed out very clearly by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in the very first chapter of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's purports. He glorifies Balaram Nityananda. So, Baladev is the very embodiment of the principle of Guru. He is Guru Tattva, personified. And that also manifests in his Leelas, in the service of Krishna, because he considers himself Krishna's servant all the time, Baladev. Although he's the supreme enjoyer, but he also has the mood of service to Krishna. And that's why Baladev expands in all 5 rasas, in various ways, to serve Krishna. And he is the form of the Supreme Lord who, through his expansions and into the material manifestation as the Vishnu forms, they're all expansions of Baladev. And then we come to Kiradakshai Vishnu, the 3rd expansion, who has his planet in the universe, but he is also manifested in the hearts of every jiva in the material world. That's Baladev. And the Paramatma, the expansion of the Lord who is in the heart of every jiva, he's called Chaitya Guru, the Guru within the heart. So Baladev Prabhu is that personality, and he came as Nityananda. So that's why Nityananda Prabhu is always addressed Guru Nityananda, Guru Nityananda. So anyway, there's a deep, important teaching to this pastime. Okay, and here it is. Sri Baladev Prabhu is a Kanda Guru Tattva, the complete and the undivided principle of Guru. In other words, he is that personality from whom all bona fide spiritual masters manifest. It is only by the mercy of the spiritual master that a sadhak can protect his heart from ignorance. A genuine guru alone can remove all types of ignorance from the heart of a sincere disciple and infuse it with devotion to Sri Krishna, Krishna Bhakti. Dhenukasur is the personification of ignorance. Realization of the truth about Sri Krishna, Krishna Tattva, and the science of devotional service to him, Bhakti Tattva, and the nature of the illusory energy, Maya Tattva, realization is only possible by the mercy of Sri Baladev Prabhu. Only then will Bhakti for Krishna become strong and fixed. Now, due to foolishness, donkeys carry all kinds of loads in this material world, don't they? They are very lusty, and they also tolerate the kicks of the she-donkey and the beatings of the washermen. Those who, out of gross foolishness, neglect to worship the Supreme Lord carry all the bad qualities of a donkey. And here's one little statement about donkey tattva. During the rainy season, when there's plenty of grass, the foolish donkey assumes that he has not eaten anything, and he thus becomes lean and thin, psychosomatically. You ever heard that before? And then during the summer, when there is scarcity of grass, the donkey assumes he has eaten it all, and thus he becomes fat. So here at Talvan lies Balabhadra Kunda and a temple of Baladev. So, that temple, we know it very well because every single year on our parikrama we stop there. And there's one particular sannyasi amongst our sangha who goes into high gear on this topic, speaking publicly. Oh, who is that? Yes. So, Sri Padmanabha Maharaj, he's the speaker there every year, and he tells another story, but he really gets into it. I mean, he's laughing and and the devotees are laughing. So that's why I call it donkey tattva, because we always speak that there. There's this story of a donkey who was, by the master, was going to place on the back of the donkey a certain kind of, like a shringasan. And the donkey would carry, I think it was Durga Puja. The donkey was going to be carrying a deity on its back of Durga, right? And so the donkey was moving along in this, and there was a parade, and there was a band playing, and all of that, and so many people watching, right? And all the people started like cheering and making happy sounds, and they're all looking at the deity on the back of the donkey. But the donkey started to think, oh, they're looking at me. They've become very happy to see me. And then the donkey started to kind of jump up and down. And as he was jumping up and down, then the donkey owner was like starting to whip him. And as he was jumping, like as if he was dancing along with all the people, right? Then the deity fell off of him. And now everyone started severely beating the donkey. So this is called ignorance. So in Krishna's pastimes, the donkey represents ignorance, avidya, ignorance. And that's why this demon in the shape of a donkey was killed by Baladev. Because Baladev is Akhanda Guru Tattva, and only, as we just heard Srila Gurudev say, that a genuine Guru alone can remove all types of ignorance from the heart of a sincere disciple and infuse it with devotion to Sri Krishna. So, this is the pastime in Talavan, and all the cowherd boys were very satisfied by eating the fruits, and also by seeing this spectacular display of Krishna and Balaram's super strength and expertise in throwing all the demons onto the trees in a very panoramic way. Yes. There's just a verse at the bottom here. It's in the footnote, but it pertains to this pastime. We're just going to read it from Srimad Bhagavatam, 15th chapter. That's the 10th canto, 15th chapter, where that story comes. Evam suhrid vacha shrutva, suhrid priya chikirshaya, prahasya jagamatur gopayar, vritau talavanam prabhu. Upon hearing the words of their friends, Krishna and Balaram laughed, and desiring to give them pleasure, entered Talvan in their company. So, Talvan ki jai. Now we're at Kumudvan. 2 miles west of Talvan is Kumudvan, which presently goes by the name Kudaravan. The Kunda here is called both Kumudini Kunda and Vihara Kunda. While herding the cows, Sri Krishna, Sri Balaram, and the cowherd boys wandered throughout this delightful place. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvi Kavidhari, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jayati. So, Sri Krishna himself sported in this kunda with the cowherd boys, and with sweet words he would summon the cows to the bank of the pond by exclaiming, "Tiri, tiri," and then with "chung, chung," he would tell them to drink water. So when we went there to that kunda, then Gurudev told this story, and then in each consecutive year that we would go there to this Kumudvan and that kunda, then Madhav Maharaj in particular, he would say, "Tiri, tiri," there's another one, we read it the other day, and "chun, chun," drink the water, "tiri, tiri," come to the bank now, like that. So the boys, they decorated each other with garlands made of kumudini flowers. Sometimes Krishna hid from his sakhas, and unseen by them, he sported in the water here with Srimati Radhika, with Lalita, Vishaka, and the other Priya Narma Sakhis. There is currently a deity of Sri Kapila Dev on the bank of this kunda. Lord Kapila worshipped Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna at this place. From here, the pilgrimage of Vraja proceeds to Bahulavan via Santanu Kunda. In the neighborhood are picturesque pastime places such as Ompar, Manako Nagara, Lagayo, Ambikavan, Ganeshara or Gandheshwarivan, Datiha or Datiya, Chatikar, and Gurud Govinda. Now first comes Datiha, which is also called Datiya. Datiha lies about 6 miles west of Mathura and 2 miles from Shantanu Kunda. According to the Padma Purana, Nanda Maharaj and all the Vrajavasis including Sri Krishna's beloved gopis, went to Kurukshetra at the time of a solar eclipse to meet Krishna. Krishna repeatedly assured them, saying, I shall soon return to Braja, and then sent them back to Braja. And although the Gopas and Gopis did return to Braja with Nanda Baba, instead of going back to Gokul Mahavan, they waited for Krishna near Datiha, on the other side of the Yamuna from Gokul. The village in which they stayed while waiting for Krishna is called Maghera or Maghera. After Sri Krishna killed Sishupala, he went to the vicinity of Mathura, where Dantavakra had gone to fight with him. Then Krishna killed Dantavakra at Datiha, and then met with his parents and the other Brajavasis. So because Dantavakra was killed here, this place is called Datiha. It is a name that is derived from the Sanskrit Dantavakraha. See, Gurudev explains many of the derivatives of all these village names all throughout Braj, hundreds of villages. And all of those names, they've come from a pastime that was performed in those villages. So now we know that Datiha is the place where Krishna killed Dantavakra and met his parents and the other Brajavasis. And the name of Datiha comes from the Sanskrit Dantavakraha, so killer of Dantavakra. So that's where the name Datiha comes. Now we come to Shakatitkara. Now the current name of Shakatikara is Chattikara. It is on the Delhi-Mathura highway, about 4 miles from Mathura and 2 miles from Vrindavan. So this is a very familiar name to devotees who live in Vrindavan, and then they take public transport from Vrindavan and they want to go to Radhakund. And in order to do that, you have to go across the highway. You know, when you get out of the township of Vrindavan, then the big highway is right there, the Mathura-Delhi highway. So then the what do you call them? The rickshaws.
Three-wheel scooters.
Yeah, but the big ones, they're called...
Tongues?
Huh? No. Forget.
Okay,
so anyway, they go across the highway, and then on the other side of that highway, that very place is the beginning of Chatikara. And so Chatikara is also known because of the pastime of Krishna killing the Shakatasura. Who was that? The cart demon when he was a baby. Yes. So that place is now called Chatikara, but it was previously Shakatikara. Yes.
There are many carts there.
Yeah, many carts that you can then, you have to get off the cart that you're on, and then you have to get, but you're calling them carts, with like fruit carts and stuff like that.
All different kind of carts.
Yeah, so you can also remember the cart that Krishna, with his tiny little feet, he was lying underneath a cart, and then the whole cart crashed, and Mother Yashoda came running quickly. But that was because of that demon, and the demon had like he was a subtle body demon, and he entered into the cart itself, and he wanted to kill Krishna by crushing him. But Krishna just kicked his little tiny legs, and then the whole thing crashed without touching Krishna at all. So now, concerned by the violence of the demons in Gokul Mahavan, Nanda Baba came to Shakatikara with all the Brajavasis, and they established a place to live here by arranging their hundreds of thousands of bullock carts in the shape of a crescent moon. This place became known as Shakatikara because the Vrajvasis used bullock carts, which are called Shakata, to set up their residence. And Sri Krishna and Sri Balaram would go from here to sweet Vrindavan and other nearby places to graze the calves and cows. Krishna performed Ras Leela and other Vraja pastimes while living here. So at that time, Vrindavan, the place of Sri Krishna's playful pastimes, was not a prosperous city, but it was a rural area ornamented with many varieties of groves, creepers, and attractive forests. So we can remember that when we're in those places, because now there's so many buildings and vehicles and highways and blah, blah, blah. But that was the place. That's why it's there to this day, named in that way. Now there comes a place that, you know what, this place, it's usually the last place that when we're gone on the parikrama with buses, you'll remember this is the last place that we will come to on a very long day, going so many places. Gurud Govinda. And it's near, very near to Vrindavan. So all the devotees get off and it's at the end of like 12 hours of being out there. And we go in and pay obeisance. There's a deity there, which we're going to read about now. Krishna performed various pastimes at this place called Gurud Govinda, which lies near Shakatikara. One day, while grazing the cows, Sri Krishna was absorbed in playing here with the Sakas. In their play, Krishna made Sridam Saka assume the role of Garuda, and then he climbed on his back, acting as if the husband of Lakshmi, Narayan himself, had mounted Garuda's back. So Sridam. Even today, one can take darshan of Govindaji with Sridam in the role of Garuda. So that's the deity they have there. This location is also connected with Lord Ram's pastimes. When the serpents released by Meghanath bound Sri Ramachandra in their coils, he became helpless. Hearing of this from Devarshi Narada, Garud came to the rescue. And as soon as the serpents saw Garuda, they released Sri Ramchandra and fled. This incident left Garuda doubtful as to whether Sri Ram was in fact Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. But by associating with Mahatma Kaka Bhushundi, you know who that is?
Crow?
That's right. Yes. Kaka means crow. They usually pronounce Kaka Bhushundi. So, by associating with Mahatma Kaka Bhushundi and by receiving darshan of Sri Krishna at the time of Krishna's pastimes, this delusion was removed from Garuda. At that time, Sri Krishna climbed upon his back and assured him that he was indeed the Supreme Lord. Gurud Govinda is the place where Garuda had darshan of Sri Govinda, the maintainer of the cows and the cowherd boys. Yeah, very sweet place. Now we come to Gandheshwari. Gandheshwari. The present name of this village is Ganeshara Gaon. Gaon means village, you know. Sometimes we say, what do we say?
Nandagon.
We say Nanda, no, we don't say Gaon. Nandagon. How do we say it?
Gram.
Gram, that's right. We would
Gaon
say
is
Nanda
used.
Gram, but actually in the Hindi it's Gaon. 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 So Ganeshara Gaon. Here, Sri Krishna and the cowherd boys would smear aromatic substances. The word for aromatic is gandha. Gandha. Aromatic substances on their bodies while grazing the cows. It is said that Sri Krishna became intoxicated by the fragrance emanating from the body of Srimati Radhika, who was hiding nearby with her girlfriends. Seeing Srimati Ji, the flute slipped from his hands, his peacock feather crown fell at her lotus feet, and he fainted. This place is therefore called Gandeshwari Tirtha. Srimati Radhika is also called Gandharva. To this day, Gandharva Kunda, so named after Srimati Radhika, continues to celebrate the triumphant amorous pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna. In modern times, the name Gandeshwari has changed to Ganeshara. So that's Gandeshwari, that town. And of course, Srila Gurudev, as he was describing here what happens to Krishna when he became intoxicated by the fragrance emanating from the body of Srimati Radhika, that's actually a verse which is coming from Sri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi by Prabodhananda Saraswati. I think it'll be at the bottom of this page, in the footnote. So now we come to Khechari Gaon. Khechari, K-H-E, Khechari Gaon. Khechari Gaon is 2 miles west of Mathura and 1 mile northeast of Shantanu Kunda. Khechari refers to the Rakshashi Putana, a demoness who roamed the sky. Kamsa knew about her power and adopted her as his sister. So on his request, the impure Putana, who could transform herself into many forms, and who also used to drink the blood and eat the flesh of small children, came in the guise of a beautiful mother to the house of Nanda Maharaj to kill Sri Krishna. That's pretty bad. Huh? Is that not pretty bad?
Doesn't get much worse.
Yeah, that's really a demoness. With small children drinking their blood, eating them. My God. All right. Although, so she came in the guise of a beautiful mother to the house of Nanda Maharaj to kill Sri Krishna. Now, although her breasts were smeared with a deadly poison, Sri Krishna, the ocean of causeless mercy, sucked out her life along with the poison and bestowed upon her a position equal to a nursemaid in the transcendental world. Khechari Gaon is the place of residence of the Rakshashi Putana. So there's another story, Putana, previous life story. Remember?
All I know is the one about Pundarik Vijanini, where he hears the voice and he goes nuts.
Well, he was singing the verse that
Mukunda, I think, sang it.
Uddhava had spoken that verse. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam. That verse was spoken by Uddhava. And in his deep praying for Sri Krishna, after Krishna had left the planet, and he was proclaiming how merciful is Krishna, that even this demoness that came, he gave her position of nursemaid in the spiritual world. So there's a previous life identity of Putana. You've heard?
Bali Maharaj's sister?
Yeah, Bali Maharaj's sister. Because, yes, Bali Maharaj, when Vamanadev came into this sacrificial assembly, then he looked so beautiful. He was stunningly beautiful as a little dwarf Brahmin boy. And when the sister of Bali Maharaj saw this beautiful young Brahmin boy, she became so attracted to him and so drawn toward him, and she just began to think, oh, I want a son just like him. I want to have a child just like him. But then what happened after that? In that pastime, Bali Maharaj became yes, cheated in the end by Vamanadev. Of course, he was cheating him for his benefit, his eternal benefit. That's why he pushed him down to the lower planets with his third step, right? But when the sister of Balimar saw this, oh, I hate him. I want to kill him. So these two moods mixed together, and she took birth as Putana in Krishna Lila. And this is why Krishna reciprocated with her mood of motherly affection by giving her that position. And sucking out all of the poison and all of her bad qualities and everything. So,
Maharaj?
yeah.
So, like, before when you spoke about Devakasura being the ignorance,
Yeah.
do all the demons have like a significance like that?
Yeah, there is a list, actually. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written this in the Bhagavad Tarka Marichi Mala, and there's also one other book, where some of the demons weren't killed, like Kaliya, but every one represents a particular bad quality that Krishna himself, even by remembering that very pastime, and that anartha or bad quality can come out from the heart, can be purified. So that topic was not so much told like in the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but of the acharyas have taken the inner meaning of all of this and revealed that in their commentaries.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Yeah,
more.
we can. Yeah, we can find that list.
Isn't it by reading it that quality is removed from the heart?
By hearing it, by hearing that pastime, meditating upon that pastime. Yeah. So now comes Shantanukunda. We've been hearing the name of Shantanukunda, that it's near to Shantanukunda, this, that. Now we're going to hear, what is Shantanukunda? Shantanu. This is the place where Maharaj Shantanu performed austerities. You know who Shantanu is? Beginning of the whole Mahabharata.
Father of Bhishma?
Let's hear, because I can't quite exactly remember, but this is the beginning, the first chapter of the Mahabharata are these personalities, Shantanu, Bhishma Dev, like that. So, this is the very place where Maharaj Shantanu performed austerities, at this kunda. Its present name is Satolha, and it is on the Govardhan road about 3 miles from Mathura. Maharaj Shantanu worshipped Bhagavan here with a desire to beget a son. This son became famous as, you're correct, grandsire Bhishma. Bhishma's mother was Ganga. However, for a particular reason, she left Shantanu Maharaj. The king then became attracted to Satyavati, who was called Matsya Gandha. Here's the Gandha word again, fragrance. Matsya Gandha. She smelled like a fish, Matsya. So she was called Matsya Gandha or Matsyodhari, and she possessed great beauty. She was living in the house of a fisherman across the Yamuna opposite Mathura. Maharaj Shantanu desired to marry her. But the fisherman Dasha Raj, the fisherman's name was Dasha, not Dasa, but Dasha Raj. That fisherman was unwilling to give the king his adopted daughter in marriage. He said, if you accept the condition that the son born from my daughter will be the successor to your kingdom, then you can marry her. Maharaj Shantanu refused this proposal for the sake of the crown prince Devavrata, Bhishma, yet his heart felt great sadness. When Prince Devavrata, Bhishma, came to know of this, came to know of what? That
His father-
Maharaj Shantanu wanted to marry this girl and that this was the condition. So when he found this out, he came to know of this, he went to the house of the fisherman and he vowed to remain a lifelong brahmachari. He promised that the child born from Matsyodari would ascend the throne. Thus he was able to arrange for the fisherman's daughter to marry his father, Maharaj Shantanu. It is believed that while Hastinapur was Maharaj Shantanu's capital, he also had a place of residence here at Shantanu Kunda. Women who desire a child, they bathe in this kunda. And behind the temple there, they make a svastika out of cow dung and they perform puja. In the middle of Shantanu Kunda, on a raised hill, is the temple of Shantanu's worshipful deity, Sri Shantanu Bihariji. So there's a temple deity there, all marking the spot.
I saw the movie.
Huh?
I saw the movie.
Oh,
It came out. And
yeah.
that's how I learned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gurudev used to also watch it in Hindi.
Oh, yeah.
The Mahabharata, Ramayana. Yeah. The footnote that I had mentioned, these verses are given. The verse that describes how when Krishna smells the fragrance of Srimati Radhika's veil in the wind, then his pitambara slips from his body, his peacock feather falls off, and his flute falls from his hand, and then he faints. This verse is verse 2 of the whole Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. Yasya kadapi vasananjala kela nota danyati danya pavanena kritartamani yogindra durgamagatir madhusudanopi tasyo namostu vrishabhanu buddho dishepi. And then there's another verse being quoted, which is also talking about how the flute falls from his hand and so forth. Vamshi karani patitas kalitam shikandam brastam chapita vasanam vrajarajasuno yasya kataksha sharagata vimurchitasya tam radikam paricharami kadarasena. Sripada Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj gave such nice classes on this Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi when he was here a couple of years ago. And went into detail on, he did one verse a day and went into very great detail. And I think he only made it up to like verse 14 or 15. So the translation of this is, when can I worship with rasa, that Radhika, whose arrow-like glances causes the prince of Vraja to faint, his yellow cloth to fall off, his crown to loosen, and his flute to fall from his hand. So that's the end of the section on Kumudavan. And so tomorrow we'll do Bahulavan. We'll do Bahulavan and we'll complete that tomorrow. It's not very long. Then, guess what comes after Bahulavan? Bahulavan is very near to Radha Kund and Shama Kund. Very near. Yeah? And after we do Radha Kund and Shama Kund, today is Friday.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday, yeah. So we'll probably we'll try to complete Radha Kund and Shama Kund on tomorrow, which is Friday. And then our festival for Govardhan Puja is on Sunday, but I think probably some devotees coming on Saturday, no? Because I heard that was going to be like a 3-day festival or something. That plan has changed?
No, it's because And Tuesday and Wednesday is Srila Prabhupada's.
Right,
Srila Prabhupada's day and Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj's day the next day.
that's right.
So then he was like Govardhan Puja, and then there's a gap like Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday.
But are there some devotees that are going to stay through those few days?
Maybe we don't think so, Maharaj. No,
I'll
there's
stay.
gonna be some visitors from.
I'll stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was someone driving. Pushpadanta. I heard from Vaikanas Maharaj.
Oh, great.
He's
Yeah.
coming, so he'll probably be here
Yeah, of
during
course.
that time.
Great.
Okay, so that means that Friday, tomorrow, we'll finish Bahulavan, and maybe Radhakund and Shamakund be able. It's a little bit long, but we could probably finish that. And then comes Govardhan. And Govardhan on Saturday, preceding the Govardhan Puja and also continuing it. But we also want to read the story. So that means that for the next few days, like Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday, those 3 days, we'll complete all the Govardhan story and Katha, and then comes Tuesday Srila Vaman Maharaj and Wednesday Srila Prabhupada. That'll work out.
Great.
Okay, Gaur Premanand.
Hari Hari.
Shri Braj Mandala Parikrama Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandini. Vancha